And we have some of our lead tutors here. Mr. Oriyomi Kasali, he's the lead tutor for performance management. We also have here with us Abd Wasiu Iyanda. He's the lead tutor for business management and finance. Sorry about that. Okay, yes. And then also we have Uwem Amos. He's the lead tutor for PM as well. Can anyone, if you can hear me, please type 111. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. So yeah. So we would not be wasting so much time. I would like to invite our tutors to give a brief introduction about themselves. And first off, we would call on Mr. Oriyomi Kasali to give a brief introduction about himself. Mr. Oriyomi, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can barely hear you. It's faint. Yes, very faint.
Apology, please. Is it fine now?
It's better than before, but it could be better.
Still faint. Okay.
Please, is it fair now?
Yes, it is. It's fine.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay. So good day, everyone. I apologize for, I think I can mute. Good day, everyone. Sorry, please, you can see my video. It's not necessary.
Please kindly, we would like to see your face, sir.
Okay. Everybody know my face. Am I audible? You can see me?
Yes, you are audible and we can see you. Yes.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. I'm Oriyomi Kasali, popularly known as Employomite. Where am I? I'm Oriyomi Kasali, the tutor for performance management, and also I'm a finance and account professional and currently working in the space of health sector as the internal control manager. And another thing, that's it.
Okay, thank you so much for that, sir. We call on the next tutor, Mr. Abd Wasiu Iyanda. Kindly give us a brief introduction about yourself. Hope we have him here. I doubt if he's here.
Think he's here yet.
Yes, he's not here yet. So we will just proceed with you for now till the other tutors join along the way. So we have a few questions here to ask you, and we will not be wasting so much time. So we'll just delve into the questions we have already. So first of all, we would like you to share any of your success or memorable experiences of students who aced their PM exams after attending your sessions or following your guidance.
That thing is breaking. Like I can barely hear you.
Oh, you
The
can?
voice is breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, but it's faintly, it's going up and down, up and down.
Okay. Oh, is this better now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, so I said the first question I would like to ask you is that can you share any success story or a memorable experience of students who have aced their performance management examinations after attending your sessions.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I think, is that for me?
Please, can you mute your audio, sir? Sir, can you mute your audio, sir? Mr. Oriyomi, please, you can go on, sir.
Is that for me?
Yes, it's
No,
for
you
you.
can go on.
Performance
Yeah, the
management.
question is for you. Is it my network or do you know? I will check it.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Can you hear us as well?
Sorry, please take the question
Again, because I couldn't hear you at all. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yes, so I said that, can you share any success story or a memorable experience of students who have aced their performance management examinations after attending your sessions or following your guidance?
Okay. I hope you can still hear me. That's a brilliant question.
So, sir, we cannot hear you.
Okay, Queen. Are you there?
Yeah, hi. Hello,
Sorry,
Martin.
is it fair now?
Yes, it's better now, sir.
I think, okay.
Okay, thank you so much. So when it's actually comes to performance management, to me, it's just one of the most interesting course ever. And it really gives me that excitement. Whenever I see a student that is actually facing some challenges in performance management, the excitement is when you don't actually understand what you really want to do. It actually gives you a kind of challenges. But the moment that you are with ICAN Online Tutor, with the host of Tutor they have, sincerely speaking, and with the modality that we use, I so much believe that you will not remain the same. Why do I say that? Performance management in itself is what can actually be applied to our daily activities. And as such, we also take that to the classroom to also be telling us that this is how we can do. Over time, the one that I really like to share is that of the last diet. And this always happens at every diet, in which most students will just come to the performance management. Some will be with us at the beginning, while some will usually come at that of the what towards the end of the diet. And irrespective of the challenges, we always have this thing that we usually do, which has actually proven to be working and effective and has really assist the student in passing the performance management efficiently, which is one, we usually put them to text. And after the text always reawaken their sleeping giants. That is what I love calling it. And immediately after the text, we usually subject them to what we call daily challenges. Such like last diet, we had some daily challenges before we now have our IoT PM boot camp. And with that, I can really confirm to you that many students that even taught performance management, they could not even pass it again. Some that has really filled the paper for more than 3 times, 5 times as they come to my DM to give testimony that, oh, this technique, this what IoT has deployed has actually assisted me, and to God be the glory, I have passed the performance management and moving to the next stage of professional level of ICAN. Anybody in the class, I just believe that technique has really been working, and this is what I can also testify that this week, if I'm not mistaken, maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, we did the same thing in the class. And after that, I know the feedback that came after that. Many people were like, we just have to solve this in the class. We have to do this, we have to do that. Sincerely speaking, what we have deployed is really what has been working, and students have been given a testimony to it. So in answering the question, that has actually been the effective working tools that has really assisted any students that attend the class and actually solve their problem of performance management and initially give them edge in the ICAN exam and also bring their confidence. Thank you, Mama.
All right, thank you so much for that, Mr. Oriyomi Kasali. Thank you. So moving on, we will take the next question. And this is, how do you recommend students' approach to time management when preparing for a course like performance management?
How do I recommend students' time management? Adequately, I would like to do that in two ways. One itself is the student's ability to management of time. And the other one are the techniques in managing the time that we also imbibe in the students. Why do I have to answer it in two ways? Irrespective of how much we tried to ensure that we instill that time management in students, they're practicing and adhering to the guidelines that has been given. We also serve as efficient tools when working out performance management. When it comes to performance management, time management itself is a key tool that every student just have to be cognizant of. In the sense and understand the question requirements and ensure that we fully plan our time efficiently. And when it comes to time planning, we don't just solve a question as it comes. We look at the one that you know best to solve first. Maybe this the section B part, then going to the section C part of the question, and not just starting from the compulsory question. But one of the aspect of the student, just as asked, is inability to even manage their time efficiently. And this has really served as a pitfall for most of the students in the exam hall. Before you know, 30 minutes more, irrespective of what the examiner has even calling. If you can start solving a question and timing yourself, that would have instilled that time management into our memory, and whatever we are doing would have known that, oh, this is the time that I'm expected to spend on each question. And by so doing, for glory be to God, in IoT at the end of the diet, we always do end of the diet sensitization, where we also talk on time management and the efficient utilization of time. And I can really bet it with you that this has really also proved to be one of the efficient tools for our students. But on the aspect of the students, we just need to start practicing question and be noticing the time we spend when practicing the question. But if I am to give generally an opinion on student management, for now, I will still say that that's still poor, and all students really needs to work very much better on the aspect of managing time in their performance management. Thank you, Mama. How you can hear me? Thank you, Ma.
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Thank you so much for that. So I'd like to confirm if our other tutors have joined. So Mr. Iyanda Wasiu, are you here?
Mr. Iyanda is in another class, so he'll join us as soon as it's true.
Okay.
I'm trying to get in touch with
Mr.
Mr.
Uwem Amos.
now.
Okay, sir. Okay, so we still have questions for you, Mr. Oriyomi Kasali. Yes. So our next question, okay. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So in the ICAN examinations for performance management, what type of questions can you rule out for candidates to expect in the exams?
That is one of the most brilliant questions ever. For performance management, I would say that all questions are actually important and are very key to the exam success. And when it comes to performance management, why will you even rule out a particular topic that it will not come out in your exam? Everything are what are applicable and are what can easily be understood. When it comes to performance management, I always tell my students in the class that performance management is all about assumptions. And when we say something is assumptions, you just need to understand the basis. What am I expected to do? And from there, just play your part and ensure that if the question is asking for profit, look at the items that you were given, get your contribution. After getting your contribution, you may have to get your contribution per unit, or you may have to get your contribution per total. And after that, then you proceed to anyone that you proceed to the examiner's requirement. I can say that all the topics in performance management are very key. And the syllabus, though we don't look at the syllabus as too cumbersome or is lengthy, but in quotes, everything can be embedded in 4 major aspects in which everybody already aware of that. We're talking on the management aspect, you talk on this decision-making aspect, then the risk management as well, then marginal and absorption. Let me just call it short-time decision-making, then marginal costing techniques. If we can just go to
I'm so
if
sorry
students
about
can just sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. I apologize for that. So if we can just see the whole performance management as something we can just trash without a fear, absolutely and apparently it will become so much easier for everyone. And with the ways and the levels that we have really taken the performance management, we have actually been working ourselves through some examinable questions. What students just need, just leverage on that. By leveraging on that, you don't have to solve all the questions in the entire world. You don't have to solve all the questions in the past. Neither all the questions in your, what is it called? Is your Pathfinder. Just get a tip from that question, and with that, you are good to go. Then ensure that you are also looking at your instructor has given you a technique that he thinks can best work for you. While you are practicing your question, follow that and always have that at the back of your mind. This is what my examiner said. And I mean, this is what my instructor said. I am working towards that. And not for us to be looking at the way they absorb it in the Pathfinder, or the way they absorb it in the study pack. Whereas your instructor has looked out for the best techniques that he think can be deployed to solve that thing, to simplify that solution and make it very much easier. That is just every topic as art is very much important. Students just need to understand the requirements and follow the instructor's guideline. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oriyomi Kasali. So yeah, we have also our lead tutor for performance management, Mr. Uwem Amos. Hi, thank you for joining me, sir. Kindly give us a brief introduction about yourself before we proceed.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's great to have everybody on this call. So you've introduced me really already. I'm Uwem Amos, nothing much really added to that. I take performance management and strategic financial management. And we hope to make this session a very interesting one. Go out of this session feeling very good. We're ready to tackle performance management. In terms of my profile, so I do have some years of experience across a number of industries, really, banking, the industry, capital market, and the like. In terms of my qualification, just a few as well. So I'm a fellow of the Institute. I'm also a chartered accountant with ACCA. I also do have CIA, that's Certified Internal Auditor, Certified Information System Auditor, Certified Fraud Examiner, certified in Risk and Information System Control, and then a certified public accountant and a certified general accountant. But that's basically me, really, in summary. Thank you.
Okay, wow, thank you very much for that. That was quite brief. Yes, so yeah, we have some questions here for you. And I'll start by asking this question. So, okay, yes, since you take performance management, are there any specific study techniques or resources that you find particularly beneficial for students preparing for the performance management ICAN examination?
Okay, so performance management is an interesting and course, and that's because it doesn't have, for most topics, just because it's not accounting, it's not financial accounting, it doesn't have standards. So oftentimes you find that students try to juggle between a lot of materials, a lot of techniques, which is not the way to go. So when it comes to material, I think for me, I would still go back to the basic, which is the material that is provided by IoT, because the lecturers for both that take the courses, myself, Mr. Oriyomi, would always ensure that the technique we adopt is the technique that aligns very closely to what we have in the Pathfinder. Because like I said, there are no standards for performance management. So if you move from textbook to textbook, you get confused because the approach for in the textbook A will be different from an approach in textbook B, textbook C, textbook D. You just get confused. So my recommendation would generally be stick to the material you've gotten from your class, from IoT, practice questions, and ensure that you also review your questions and try to see where you think you need to make correction. Don't be tempted to go after too many materials. That's not the way to go. That would be my recommendation in terms of materials.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So I hope we are all jotting, because I think I got some notes here. So you said you should stick to some of the materials and also practice questions, and don't get yourself overwhelmed with a whole lot of other textbooks that are not so relevant in the study text as well. So yeah, moving on, we have another question here for you, sir. So
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, let me quickly come in because time is not really on our side. So before we start entertaining questions from the students, we know many of you have questions to ask the tutors. We are still expecting the business management entrepreneurs tutor. So if you are here because of that, just kindly just hang on, it will be with us shortly. So, okay, yes, I think he's here now, Mr. Abd Wasiu Iyanda. So, Mr. Abd Wasiu Iyanda, if you are here, quickly unmute yourself and introduce yourself. We really appreciate that. In 1 minute, please.
All right, now, good evening, everyone, and good evening to the co-host, Mr. Amos, and to everyone here. My name is... Yes, I can hear you as well. Can you hear me, sir? Mr. Ridwan?
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening, sir.
Still trying to sort it out. So let me go on with my questions to the
I think I can hear you. Okay.
So yes, so the tutors, I want to, I always want to come from a practical experience of when I was writing ICAN and the challenges then and how people perceive the cost that is being taken now. So yes, everybody always feel performance management is like the control paper at the professional level. And yes, to be sincere, well, I don't believe there's any control paper at any level. I feel you passing your papers at a certain level is a lot of factors. Maybe many of us that did accounting have this bias towards calculation. So the calculation courses always come like it's difficult, it's difficult, it's difficult. So I remember then that performance management will give a lot of students issues. And yes, I've seen and I've had crazy courses as to the number of times people have written this course, and it's usually like the course that old students at this level, that is, they've passed all the other courses, but they're having challenge with performance management. So in 1 minute from each of you, how do you think that, what do you think is the major problem why students have difficulty in passing this course, and what do you think is the solution to that problem? So I will start with Mr. Uwem, then Mr. Oriyomi thereafter. So in 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you very much. So challenge with passing PM. So let me state again that PM is not a control paper, and that PM is one of the easiest papers to pass if we can just do it right. First challenge is that people mix performance management with financial accounting. Financial accounting is guided by standards. Financial reporting is guided by specific standards. That is not the case with performance management. Oftentimes in performance management, we focus more on the future and what happens, how our decisions is impacted as a result of what happens in future. So the student needs to drop their mindset around being an accountant and then focus on being performance managers. That's one first mistake students make. Second mistake students make is that they feel that the answer in performance management should follow the same technique, which is not correct, because there are no standards. You could have different answers but same decisions. So for example, I'm saying, should I do project A, B, or C? You could have someone solve using a technique that gives different figure but result in doing project A. Another one solve the same question, different figure, but still results in taking project A. So therefore means that students sometimes find themselves looking for correct value rather than the correct decision. So in performance management, the focus should be on the correct decision. And that means that don't confuse yourself by looking at too many materials. You get confused, you waste too much time on topics. Stick to a material, pick a material, stick to it, study it correctly, follow the technique correctly as it is with that material, and practice enough questions. I think that's enough for 1 minute. Thank you, sir. Hello, sorry. I think I'm done. I don't know if it's my network.
Okay, sorry, I've been talking. I thought I had unmuted myself. So sorry.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So much for that insightful response, and I really appreciate that. So, in summing, you have said that number one, focus on being a performance manager when approaching questions from performance management rather than approach your questions or take or study as a financial accountant. And secondly, stick to one thing so that in order not to get confused. So forget about having multiple materials. What really matters is getting the same result. And that is just the truth. Thank you so much, Mr. Uwem Amos. So, Mr. Oriyomi, in 1 minute, kindly give your response to that.
Thank you so much for that. Mr. Uwem Amos has actually highlighted the key areas that the students really need to focus on. I'll just add to it that in addition to that, we just need to understand the question requirement fully, and also highlighting some key terms and ensuring that we really get the meanings of the verb that is being used in the question. Then we should now take a proactive approach to answering the question. And after that, in performance management, we get ahead by practicing question and solving the assignment that is being given. And ensuring that you build on your confidence. You cannot approach any exam when you have fear in your mind. The paper itself can scare people away because you hear performance management, you'll be like, it is almighty thing that cannot be broken. However, it is not. Performance management is just like every other paper. In fact, the most simplest paper that everyone can pass. Because as Mr. Uwem said, it is all about managerial techniques and nothing more. And when it comes to a managerial techniques or approach, you just have to give a decision. And that is everything that the PM actually focuses on. And when you answer your question with confidence, then every other thing becomes so much easy. That is just that, in addition to what he has said. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oriyomi. Thank you for that response. So, Mr. Iyanda Wasiu, you are welcome to the show. Kindly introduce yourself in 1 minute. We've been expecting you, Mr. Abd Wasiu Iyanda.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mr. Ridwan, and good evening, everyone. My name is Iyanda Abd Wasiu, and I lecture business management and finance, CSME. At least I can see some name from skills class as well. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's section, both the foundation and the words and the skills level student as well.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Abd Wasiu Iyanda. So before we forge ahead, we have a few questions to ask you about business management and finance. So firstly, most of the students that take business management and finance are usually without any accounting or business education knowledge. So that means they studied probably Arts of Management Science, Faculty of Management Science, or Faculty of Social Science, which are a bit related in some courses because those that study those courses are usually exempted from business management and finance. So in 1 minute, Mr. Iyanda, what advice do you have for these people who are usually of non-accounting background? How should they perceive business management and finance, and how should they study, and eventually how should they approach questions during their exams? In 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. And that's true, because if you come from the management part or the social science, you'll be given exemption to write or not to write this particular course. So to my own words, so my own advice would just be that what you just need to try as much as possible to do is, to be honest, it's not really a difficult word. It's not a difficult subject like that. It's more of more of theory. even the calculation that is in words in BMF is just like, let's say 3 of them, which is basically simple financial mathematics, do some simple investment appraisal as well. So the calculation part is not really that intense. It's just a normal calculation that some of us can even remember from our secondary school, which is all those simple interest, compound interest, and annuity. So from the calculation part, even though you are not from the world, from the social science during our world, maybe our postgraduate or undergraduate, we already have some elementary knowledge of it before from our world. I'm sure from our secondary school, we all do mean, mode, and word, all those things, simple interest and word and compound interest. So it's still in what in BMF. So the only challenges that some of us can be facing now is that, okay, it's quite a while. But if you are not from the world, from the management, at least you should be from word, from science, and you're able to understand it well, you're able to understand it fast. So majority of the things that you have in words in BMF are basically what? Are basically theory. And some of them, you have to look at it from you have to look at it, see yourself as a manager. See yourself as a manager, because those are some of the things that you are going to be eventually doing. And it's more of theoretical. So what you just need to try as much as possible to do, again, is to understand the terms very well. In terms of what is this particular terms talking about? Let's say we are talking about what now? Growth as a business. You have to see yourself as a manager. Your business organization needs to grow. So it's a decision that is not basically driven by what? By finance. But the end product result of it, the number is still going to be there. But there are some strategic decisions that you're going to make that is not really even what your background is not really coordinating to it. What you just need to try as much as possible to is to see yourself as that manager, and think of how are you going to take your business to the next level, because that is the key. We don't want any business to fail. So whatever the question that you are approaching is still going to be business related. So see yourself in that position. The calculation part is very, very small. It's not really that word. It's not much. So what you just need to as you're approaching it, once you are reading it, just make sure you understand the term very well. And once you understand the term, see yourself as a future manager that you're going to embed it in your practice, and you're going to enjoy the course. To me, is one of the simplest subject at foundation, not just because I'm taking it, but some of us can also compare it with other subjects that you're doing, maybe like FA, MI, and business law. But you say that BMF is very, very it's very, very cool. So just make sure you understand the terms and practice a lot of questions. You are going to pass it at a go. So that's it, Mr. Ridwan. Thanks. I hope I have not spent more than 2 minutes.
I wish I had spent more than 2 minutes. Well, anyways, I guess the students are also enjoying this session. So thank you so much for signing that. So you read it from the guru himself, the BMF guru, that just enjoy the course. It's an enjoyable course, which I agree with it. Even though I didn't take that course, exactly that course in ICAN, but we did similar courses as an undergraduate. So it's not a big deal, because I always see this fear from those with non-accounting background saying that, can I don't have an accounting background, can I come? They say ICAN is hard. I'm telling you, if you are going to succeed in today's world, you will have to turn deaf ears to many things that you hear about the ICAN exams, and about any negative thing. You would have to turn deaf ears to them so that you can achieve your goal. There are so many people without non-accounting background that have come to take accounting professional exam, which is ICAN, and even other accounting professional exams like ACCA, and they are doing pretty well today. They are doing exceedingly well today. So forget about your accounting background. You are starting from zero. The BMF for example, is like is the foundation course. So that level is called foundation for a reason. So, and the requirement to be in that level is what? Zero knowledge. So you don't need a prior knowledge. You don't need a previous knowledge. You are taking from zero in that course. So, and you also mentioned of you practicing questions, and I think this applies to all the levels. And I always see students like, oh, even the questions I'm practicing, I'm not getting it. That is the essence of practicing the questions. If you get it, yes, it's good. But if you don't get it, it's not the main exam. So go and know the reason why you're not getting it. So when you attempt, it's the attempt that matters. Attempt it, you didn't get the correct answers, go and check. By the time you attempt it a second time, you will definitely get it. So, but it is important you go through past questions, and that's why you have your pathfinders. And also, if you are in the premium class, we give you like an analysis of like a trend analysis of how ICAN has been asking questions over the years. So make use of this trend analysis also. It's very important to know, okay, how have they been asking questions? Which topics do they usually ask? Then it helps you to prepare. Also, I'll also say like focus on what you enjoy. You understand? I mean, like focus on your strengths. I'm not saying you shouldn't look at your weaknesses, but make sure you perfect your strengths. Then look at your weaknesses and work on it. That is it. Thank you once again, Mr. Iyanda. Now we will be taking some questions from the audience. We have some questions in the chat, and if you have any question, you can also raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute yourself. I'll ask you to unmute yourself, then you can ask your question. So let me quickly go through the chat. So many questions. Okay, so somebody's asking. Okay, somebody's asking, answering the question in my own language, do I lose some mark? Okay. Then the same person is asking, please, why do IoT admin block basic plan BMF? We need it to be unrestricted so we can ask questions where we need help. Okay, so I want to believe this person is a foundation student taking BMF. So this is what I would do. I will let Mr. Iyanda answer the first question, which is answering the question in my own language, do I lose mark? And let me quickly answer the other one. So Esther, you said, please, why do IoT admin block basic plan BMF? So we don't block basic plan BMF, but let's know the issue you're having. You can chat us on 07044576011. So I'll call that again, 07044576011, so that we can know the issue you are having and we can help you resolve it ASAP. So I've sent it to the to the chat. So Mr. Iyanda, please kindly answer the first question, which is answering the question in my own language, do I lose some mark? In 1 minute, sir.
Okay, sir. So answering the question in your own words, you are not really losing words, you are not losing mark. But what you just need to try as much as possible to do is to try as much as possible to embed the words, the key meaning of it. Just like, for example, now, you can define things differently, but there's still going to be some words, some key terms that is still going to be there, in regardless of your own words, in regardless of your own definition, or in regardless of the way you interpret it. You know, there's no how sometime I can define a business without putting the word that a business is a word, is a legal activities, meaning that word is lawful. So there are some definitions that, in regardless of the way you are taking it from your own perspective, there are still some key terms that has to be word. There are still going to be some key terms that has to be there. So that is just what you need to try as much as possible to work on. That in this definition, these are the key things that is there. So even though you are interpreting it or you are putting that in your own word, there are still going to be something that will be there. Just like maybe to some of us that you are doing PM now, you know, if I'm talking about break-even point now, at least there's no how you define it. It's still going to be, well, oh, my total cost is equal to my total revenue. So in regardless of the word, the way you approach it, there are still some things that will be there, just like the general thing, that is what I say. So what you just need to make sure that, okay, in this definition, what is the general things that I have to include there? So just have that at your back of your mind, and you're not going to penalize for it, because I have a practical experience of how ICAN will really do mark up some of their exams. So you're not really going to lose any mark. Just make sure everything is cool and you'll be fine. So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iyanda. Thank you for your response. So if you have any questions, like I said, you can raise your hand so that I can ask you to unmute, and you can ask your questions. So Queen, I'm unable to check the other chats. I think I saw about 10 messages, but you can also check from your end and see if there are other questions in the chat, and you can ask the speakers. But that was the only question I saw from here.
Okay, I also don't have questions on the chat anymore because my network kicked me out. So
okay, so you cleared the chat. So if you have any question, if you're a participant on this call and you have any question, can we see your hand? Or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your questions. But we don't want it to be rowdy. That's why I'm asking that you raise your hands. Also, if you are joining us on YouTube, you can put your questions in the comments section so that we can ask. Okay, seems nobody has question tonight, so I guess the message was well passed by the tutors. So yes, okay, somebody is asking a question now. Okay, so favorite is saying, from what Mr. Oriyomi and Mr. Uwem have said, does it mean once you go through what we studied in class and you practice questions and attempt assignment, you are good to go for PM? So Mr. Oriyomi, I would ask you to go first on this, then Mr. Uwem, I will ask you to go after him. Then you can give us a parting shot, then we'll call it a day so that our students can go and rest so that they can take their classes tomorrow. So Mr. Oriyomi, you can go first. So the student is asking if what you give them in class is sufficient, in addition to them practicing questions and attempting assignments. Please, in 1 minute, Mr. Oriyomi.
Yes, thank you so much for that, sir. The answer is yes. Like all what is being taught in the class, all the questions that we practice in the class includes all the examinable questions. Past question, Pathfinder, and other resources that the student do not even have access to are being factored into the lecture notes. Sticking to that is really enough to pass the performance management. Like I said earlier, you don't have to practice all the questions in this world for you to practice, for you to pass the PM. Only what you need is the brain behind the question requirement. And once you get that, that is enough. Just practice what is being taught solve your assignment and submit for review. And after that, practice any other question that your examiner give you, that your tutor is giving you. That's good to go. Very, very good to go. So my parting word is, whenever you're faced with performance management or your BMF, what you just need to do is first understand the question requirement. And when you understand the question requirement, plan your beginning, plan your middle, plan your end, and also the key areas that require to be addressed, and know how to answer according to the examiner's requirement. Above all, just ensure that you have your attack planned in your mind. And with that, approach the question and don't be so hard on yourself. Just address the question to the requirement and put it down to the best of your ability. And with that, I promise you that you keep flying and you surpass that of the performance management. And above all, practice, 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 and gain the confidence in yourself. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uwem Kasali. So you've heard it from the horse's mouth that whatever you are given in class is sufficient and adequate for you to go ahead and do justice to PM in the examination, or don't go about trying to get all the materials in this world. So, like in the past, I've seen students run from one tuition house to the other to get all the materials. So they will say, hey, this lecturer is hot. They go for after that one. So at the end, sometimes it could lead to confusion, like Mr. Uwem said earlier, because the approach of this tutor might be different from the approach of the other tutor. And at the end, you get confused, and it could affect your performance in the examination. And if you are a premium student, you can always submit your assignment for review. It's going to be reviewed, and you get feedbacks on them. Thank you once again, Mr. Oriyomi, for that. So, Mr. Uwem, in 1 minute, please, kindly give us your own response to this and also your parting shot.
Okay, so Mr. Oriyomi has hit the nail on the head, really. The IoT materials is comprehensive enough for you to pass PM. And if you follow the material closely, you would notice that the questions that are in the materials, weekly materials, often have a past question as part of the questions that are solved along each topic. You'd also notice that for the assignments as well, for the parts that PM, you'd also notice that the assignments are also from past papers. So once you have attempted these questions and you've gone along with it, obviously you find yourself prepared for exam. If you can attempt that question, if you can attempt that exam assignment, past paper assignment, you can follow along and understand that past paper that was solved in class, then definitely if you are given that same question or a similar question in the exam, you will definitely be able to attempt it. So like we said, performance management is not financial accounting. As a performance manager, you are an advisor to your company. You provide advice. So whenever you see that question in front of you, ask yourself, if I also advise my company, what would be my advice? What will I personally do? Or what data can I pick out of what I'm looking at that can help me advise my company properly? That's what the performance management rule is all about. Learn the principles and apply the principles to the question. What we are being taught in class is not meant to memorize, not like financial accounting. It is meant to teach you the principles. So learn those principles and then apply those principles when you are giving advice, because you are advisor your company, that would help your company to make decisions about the use and investment and source of funds for the organization. So my party note would be the ICAN exam, just like every other endeavor, requires that we put in some hard work and that we've sacrificed some things to make it work. So these few days, weeks to the exam, we need to make some sacrifice. Certain things we need to go for you to focus on your studies. If you're someone that you're very close to your phone, you're very close to social media, you can't have that and ICAN at the same time. One needs to go. So give the required attention, give the required time for the study, and make the required sacrifice. And you can be sure that when you work hard, the result is always success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uwem Amos. So I picked one very important thing, or two, let me say, from what you said. First, you mentioned hard work, and secondly, you mentioned the first was hard work, and second is I just forget this now. Okay, so hard work. That is it. And go into and sacrifice. Yes, that's the second thing. Sacrifice. You have to make sacrifices. And while that second point is very important, is that many of the students that join our online classes are busy professionals, and we understand some of them are even mothers, so they have children to attend to, they have work to attend to, they have to attend to their husband. It's a lot of challenge. You understand? That's why I keep telling people that was one of the reasons why we started ICAN Online Tutors, which is also known as IoT Academy, is to make it easy for you to learn despite these commitments that you have from your work and family. And we try to do everything in our position. Maybe we are not perfect yet, but yes, we still believe we're a work in progress. We will do everything we will to always improve, but now it's one of the reasons that we want you to be able to study anywhere at any time, on the go, study. We just say study instead of scrolling your Instagram feeds, your Facebook feeds, your LinkedIn feeds. Instead of wasting unnecessary time on YouTube videos, let what will entertain you be our videos, which you can access on the go. Watch our videos on the go. You're on transit, watch it. You are working at home, doing your house chores. Plug your headphones in your ears, your Bluetooth headphones. Just listen. Some of our courses, it is just is as good as just listening to them. Listen, maybe you don't get everything 100%, but you actually grab something. Prepare a timetable for yourself is okay also, but that doesn't mean you cannot make your study flexible despite that timetable. So any slight opportunity you have, some of you, the time you have is usually at your work, maybe during breaks. Some of you, that time is not available. The time you have is when you're on transit. Make use of this time. Any spare time you have, make use of it. It's not until you have a 3-hour stretch or 2-hour stretch that you now say, oh, yes, I have to sit down for 2 hours. You don't really need that. Studying in bits sometimes accumulates and it helps. So 30 minutes here, 15 minutes here, sometimes all these things are helpful. You understand? So I always ask students, go on the go. This has been, study on the go. This has been a proven strategy for us over the years. So we had a student that gave a testimony, I think, about 2 days ago. that she follow the strategy that when she's driving to work, she connects her phone to the to her car's Bluetooth, and she just listens to the videos. Then when she has the time, she goes through it again. The truth is that because she has listened to it before, when she's studying, she recalls some of those things she had picked. So she's able to learn faster during that time when she has time. And there are some courses that also, there are some topics that they do not even require you to do maybe calculation, and so you don't have to follow what is being written in the dictionary. Those are the ones that are even easier for you to study on the go. So they are the theoretical part of the course you are taking, or some are even purely theory. For example, audit and assurance, or corporate strategic management and ethics. Those ones you will hardly find calculations in them. So listening to them is even sufficient and adequate for you. So yes, I wish you all good luck in your exams. And one more question came in, which I will just quickly answer. Somebody said, I just started reading. Can I make it this diet plus? I just joined the class. Yes, you can still make it this diet. You have about 2 months, which is about 60 days, and I can assure you that it is sufficient and adequate for you to prepare and pass your exams. We've even had someone do it less than that. The person actually took 4 courses. The person is now a tutor with us. So it took 4 courses in 40 days at the skills level. And one of those courses was also performance management. So it's not like we was just taking only performance management. One of those courses was performance management, and he took 3 other courses along with them, and he passed in flying colors. So it's a sufficient and adequate. Nevertheless, there's work to be done. You need to catch up with your previous classes, which we have provided the playback videos, the recordings of those classes. So go through them, practice, take your time. Um, you can watch one of our end of the diet sensitization where we had Ada Aloye Ayokule speak on this. So you can watch it where he told us about his strategy of passing those 4 papers in less than 40 days. So that might also be helpful, but you can be sure that it is the time left is sufficient and adequate. Yes. So even if you join the classes early and you are feeling that, oh, maybe you're not prepared, just know that the time left is still going to be sufficient and adequate for you to prepare and pass your exams. So it's 10:02 by my time, and we have to draw the curtain at this point. I really appreciate you all for joining this wonderful webinar, and I wish you good knowledge, retentive memory, and success in your forthcoming examination. Congratulations are in order for you this November 2023 as you take your ICAN exams. We hope to see some of you that are in skills level. We hope to see you in the professional level next diet. Thank you all. Thank you. Special thanks to the tutors, our speakers tonight, and also to my colleagues, Miss Queen Ukwe, and Abdul Martin Orumo, that joined this call. Thank you all, every one of you, everybody that has joined this call. I wish you all a lovely night rest. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Have a wonderful evening.
So those of you in the foundation level also, we hope to. Well, I pray that we see you in the skills level next diet. We pray that you will join us in the skills level next diet, God willing. We appreciate you all. So if you have further questions, you can always reach us on 07044576011 or 0811086686. This webinar, the recording of this webinar is available on our YouTube channel. You can go through it. And if you have any questions, if you want to make inquiries, if you are new to ICAN and you want to know more, you can always reach us on 07044576011 or 0811086686. Thank you, everybody. We hope to see you next week when we'll be having another exciting webinar session. Do have a great day. Do have a great evening. Have a lovely night rest. See you in class tomorrow.